A viewer from Nisswa wants to talk about this. This viewer is concerned about teacher licensure, and the viewer is concerned about teachers who don't have a four-year degree and being granted licenses. This question about teacher licensure, of course, has been around a while. It's some concern, and I understand that the governor vetoed a bill that touched on this issue.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody can bring us up to date. I guess we'll look to you, Representative Carlson. You spent some time in the classroom, and then we'll go around the table on this licensure question.
Yeah, I was one that was opposed to the bill when it went through the Minnesota House, and I kind of thought the governor, with his past history, there'd be a pretty good chance that he would veto it, which he did do today. So I suspect this late in the session, the issue is probably over until next year if somebody chooses to bring it up again. But I'm a strong believer in any number of professions being appropriately prepared, educated, and that would be part of my concern that this bill had different tiers of licensure, and I just come down on the side to want to make sure that my children are all adults now, but if my children were in the classroom, that they had an appropriately educated and trained educator.
Senator Frantz?
Well, if you like drama, I said on my weekly video today I thought it was the toughest vote I'd taken so far this session, therefore the toughest of my young career. You have these very real competing interests. We want teachers to come into the professions. We have trouble getting teachers in rural schools. And we, on the other hand, don't want to undermine the quality of teachers. That's what's made Minnesota schools great, and that's where a lot of great kids have come from. I just felt it was a very close call. I voted no. I thought in the end a couple factors convinced me that it would be a threat to the quality of teaching, and we want it to be as great as it's always been. And I had some other concerns about some of the Tier 1 provisions, which we could probably talk about all night. But as you know, there were 4 tiers, and I really did think it was difficult. I really do think we have a teacher shortage, and we better figure out a way to address it. And this also would have responded very appropriately to the legislative auditor's report, which said you've got to get teacher licensing under one roof. We have multiple houses that you have to go through, and so that was the best part of the bill, I thought. And we take a lot of votes. We probably have weeks where we have 50 or 60 votes between amendments and bills. I just thought it was a very tough one. I come from a family where dad was a teacher, mom was a teacher, brother's a teacher, sister's a teacher. So that's why they say Nick is the dumbest of the 3 kids.
Senator Ritke, what do you think?
It's something. I was on the E12 policy committee, so we worked on this throughout the session. It's something I fully supported. Coming from my area of the district, I heard it starting last December already when I met with all the superintendents from northwestern Minnesota. The teacher shortage, whether it's getting teachers into the classroom, and then, of course, I'm not far from North Dakota, and our licensure process is out of touch. Qualified teachers coming into the state and having to go through all the processes to get their license, they don't do it, even at the administration level. So that was one of the issues, trying to put teachers into the classroom, and in some cases you've got a very high quality person, but this would have got them in for a year and this wasn't a place where we wanted to keep the teachers. There are some teachers that would have stayed here. They might be the shop teachers, depending upon what the schools had. If you got into shop, welding, automotives, those teachers are going to be your community experts. You don't get to the expertise they have in a 4-year college or those type of things. You go to school, but you go out into the profession, and those that have the desire to work with young people and teach them and instruct them can come in and get this 1-year licensure. But it wasn't a place probably where all of them would stay, because you renewed the contract every year. It wasn't something that you gained tenure from, and you didn't have the benefits and stuff of the tiers 2, 3, and 4. Our schools would have wanted to get teachers up to the level 4, get fully licensed, just like the rest of their teachers are today. But it would have helped put teachers in the classroom, and in our part of the state, extremely important to fill some of those openings. And so that's why I supported it. There was a lot of good things to it. We know the result today. It got vetoed, so now we're back to the drawing board. And it was mentioned, a lot of these things did come from the OLA report. There was a lot of time spent by people from both sides of the aisle over the summer and the fall putting all of these things together. So it wasn't something that just was a spur of the moment, let's try this. There was a lot of effort put into it, but we need to go put a little more effort into it.
Representative Logue?
Well, I did vote for the bill in the House of Representatives, and I based it on two things. And I'm sort of same thing in sisters, brother-in-laws. Half my nieces and nephews are school teachers. But two things. One is, and I'm no expert at all in this area, but I just looked at that whole licensure thing, and it looks like a flat soup sandwich, just to be cold and brutal. The other one, and because I moved around 28 years, my family did, in the service, when you see bright young families with a career wife in particular moving around with teaching credentials, we got a problem across the country. And they're just, they can become a teacher's aide because that process to move from one state to another, no matter how brilliant they are, and boy, you're talking about some top shelf people. I saw that with friends and neighbors, people I served with. And I've got one of my nieces still a kindergarten teacher, 25 years in, just a prince of a young lady. She was, husband was in the service for a number of years in the Air Force, and she had to deal with that process, and even to get all back in battery to teach here in Minnesota was a huge struggle, and so we've got to fix that, because there's a teacher shortage out there, make no mistake, and we've just got to figure out how to get the best and the brightest into those classrooms with the least amount of red tape. Quality controls is critical, but like I say, that licensure thing just looks like a soup sandwich, but that's from Elena looking at it.
I saw it with my daughter in the other direction.
Yeah.
She graduated from University of Minnesota, Morris, and licensed to teach in Minnesota, and interesting enough, in North Dakota, her first job was in Grand Forks, and married a fellow that was a pilot, and they ended up living just out of Cincinnati, but in northern Kentucky. Now, her field was like her dad's, social studies, and she did have to meet certain requirements moving from Minnesota to Kentucky. There were things like the history of Kentucky and so on, and as you might understand as a social studies teacher, you should understand the state that you're teaching in, and so I think she had 2 or 3 courses that she had to take to get her full licensure in Kentucky, but she did that right away. And by the way, as a proud father, I have to point something out. She was, for her school district, this year, the Teacher of the Year.
Well, wonderful.
And so my
That's
wife
great.
and I, we went down there. They had a nice banquet, and the principal, when he introduced her, and she gave her, gave a nice speech. But when he introduced her, she's been down there for 20 years. Said she still has her Minnesota accent, so she hasn't.
The accent that Minnesotans don't have,
right? That we don't have.
Never have no
away.
accent.
That's right.
No wonder she's Teacher of the Year.
They can understand her.
But at any rate, on the licensure thing, she did have to meet certain criteria, and I think some of that is important. That they are well prepared. When I was in college, and I went to Mankato State, as was known then. Interesting enough, I went year-round for 3 years, and when I would be taking classes during the summer, about half the classes were full of teachers from Iowa because they had been able to teach with a 2-year degree, and the legislature in Iowa gave, over a certain period of time, to professionalize their teaching corps, they had to have a 4-year degree, and so being that they were teaching during the year, they were taking courses during the summer so that they could continue the license and certification. So teaching has a history, is my point, of trying to professionalize it and make sure we get the best and the brightest in the classroom, and that was my concern about the bill.
Well, so it's done for this session, maybe next year. We see what happens. Of course, maybe it's not done because nothing's ever done until the legislature goes home, right? Isn't that how this works?
That's true.
All right, so but it's done as far as we're concerned because we're going to move on.